Hello guys, I've just realised I haven't started Spotify. Let me just get that started and then we'll get started on the actual stream. Royalty free chill hop on Spotify. Lifesaver. But yeah, so nothing special happening in this stream. We're going to continue to do the long process of lightness sculpting. Obviously this is still incredibly early days. Got some really good notes on Facebook from a few people. So, gonna work, on primarily the eye region, I think, and try to enhance the kind of camera lineups I've got. So, there's also an issue with the size of the head, like the skull is way too small, or at least it feels way too small to me, so I'm gonna get that fixed. But yeah, so we'll get that all going. Let me just quickly open up Maya. So yeah, in Maya I've done nothing off stream other than like just change the color of the Lambert, well, Blinn in this case. So just to kind of make it a little bit visually easier to read. And yeah, it's just a case now of trying to figure out how to correctly line all this up. Because we've got quite a few issues with lineups. So yeah, so like that, for example, is not really right. But then on other ones, the forehead is not far off, like this one. Oh, it's still a little bit off, but it's not as far. So there's obviously something wrong with the lineup, because I don't think your forehead changes too much as you age. Obviously your jaw changes, your nose and your ears change the most. Well, I guess everything, but like bone structure doesn't really change for the most part. So yeah, we're gonna have to kind of play about. That one lines up quite well, but the eye itself is wrong, so this bit could still be wrong as well. So we'll figure it out. But something that is consistent across all of these is that the neck is too small, and by extension, the back of the head is way too small. Especially on this one, when he gets older, I have nowhere near enough volume at the back of the head. So we're going to do that, because that is consistent across all of them. This one suggests that his head is too big at the top, which the other ones don't too much. So that gives me a suspicion that this lineup is probably the most incorrect. So I need to find a way to get that right. Although weirdly, this is the one where the eyes, ears, and nose line up best. So there's something off. I need to figure out what it is. But we know for sure that the neck is too small. Again, by extension, the back of the head. So we'll get that sorted first. That's a quick win. And then we'll focus on the eye setup. So for now, let's hide the hair, because I've said it's going to get distracting. I'm going to bring this onto screen. So I had a... There we go. Yeah, to me it also looks like my eye is too high up. I wonder if that's something that is... I mean, for this guy's face, I guess. But yeah, I mean, this doesn't really obey too many rules. Let me check that in Maya, actually. Are my eyes like way too high? See, weirdly, the eyes are never that far off. Like, they're not exactly lining up. My eye spacing is wrong. But like, relative to the size of the head, they don't seem that far off. This one's zoomed in too far, isn't it? Because the mouth is way off while the eyes are close. And the jaw seems to be way off as well. Which actually, if I raised all this up, is that a common problem? See, it doesn't look like it'd be that far off in this one. I think the mouth needs to go up a little bit. And obviously with that, the jaw. So that might help. Yeah, the jaw needs to go up. Okay, so that will help the eyes feel like they're more correctly placed. Cool. So let's do that. And then once we've got that correct, we can try to get the other stuff right. Okay, let's just get that focal shift up. And just mask out. Do I have no pen pressure? No, I do have pen pressure, good. Alpha 6. Very low intensity. So, back of the head. Technically we should do this via lineup. But I'm just gonna wing it a little bit. So the eyes need to go slightly closer together. Okay, so let's get back to the jaw in this guy. So another comment I got routinely was that the weight is still a bit too low. So let's boost that up a little bit. So something else that I was noticing quite frequently is in my lineups, the kind of front of the ear is, as in like this section here, is almost always in further than what I've done. So I'm wondering if the head is slightly kind of pushed in that region. Need a bit more volume here too. Hey Jonah, how you doing? Yeah, there's a bit more volume here because that seems to be what's missing there as well. This we're going to ignore for a little while. So we need a little bit more volume up here. And then it was the inside of the brow, right? We're missing quite a lot. Okay, so this one's the one where the eyes are quite far off. Okay, the tip of the nose needs to be pushed back a tiny bit. And that needs to be pushed back a little bit as well. Let's go transparent. Okay, so what was it about the inside of the brow that I had wrong? Yeah, that just is more round than I have it, isn't it? It's kind of like a bottom weight to it, like it's kind of slanted from here, then droops. So Okay. Hi Mike, have you tried doing camera alignment and block out in Mudbox where you can actually do some work on the high poly unlike Maya? No, I don't like Mudbox's sculpting tools. I used to use it like years and years ago. I think Mudbox 2013, I think. I used to use. It was around that era. It was like 2013 through 2014. I used it. I really don't like its brushes. I find them more irritating to use than anything else. So by extension, I really don't. I'm saying that a lot today. I just don't really like using it. I'd rather have the back and forth with Maya, honestly. Okay, so there's a little bit of an indent looking thing here. Is that consistent? It is kind of consistent. So this area is too soft. So if we do something like that kind of thing. Yeah, let's do that. Let's go into stroke. Lazy mouse, set this down to 0.01. Then adjust the strength. What's the line like? Kind of ends there, right? That's not sharp enough. Okay, so something else that pointed out was like kind of the angriness of the brows. Kind of how sharp this angle is, although I don't know how much of that is down to the way I've painted the eyebrows, honestly. I think it's probably a lot more strengthened than I've got it, maybe like there. Maybe this should be more defined to kind of get that more squared off look. Okay. It helps for sure. So I feel like my eyes are too open. kind of feel like I've done a backwards move a little bit at some point. Where this feels more toony than it did before. This area is bothering me quite a lot. I mean, the eyes in general are bothering me, but there's something about that inner corner that's really bothering me. Let's have a quick look. Actually, this one's well lit. Maybe it's that. Maybe this needs to be eased out by that point. As in, like, the transition is a bit more gradual. It just felt too much like a tube. That second line is visible, it's just so awkward to get right. I think his brows are closer to his eyes than what I've got. But is that a case of his brows need to go down or his eyes need to go up? Hard to tell with this sort of stuff. That angle change. That's helping. That's starting to feel a bit better. This needs to be eased out as well. This arch. Eye bag needs to be pulled back. Eye bag is currently a bit too pronounced. Or the upper eye bag, sorry. So something that's interesting to me is this shadow, how it kind of curls down. I'm wondering how I can achieve that. Is it just a case of doing this? Or is it a case of adding a bit more of a rim to it? I think it's the latter. So that helps define bone structure, which is what he's got quite strong. Bit strong right now, but it's gonna go into preferences, undo history, disable saving, then going to just alt save this guy. Cool. Does it say symmetrical? Oh, when did I turn off symmetry? Geometry. Been working mostly on this side, right? Modify topology. That changed a lot. There we go. These do just feel like gaping holes, don't they? Okay, the inside of his nose seems weirdly large. Like, that area needs to stretch all the way over. Fade that in a little bit. Okay. So, let's get this exported. Just see how it lines up now. Let's just see how that looks in Maya. So now if we go in Maya, what we can do, if I just go into panels perspective, okay, we'll just go into file, reference editor, and where's reload reference? There we go. So now I can test my lineups again. Move that to the other screen. Okay. Why isn't it letting me do the 2D pan zoom? Just remember how to do it. View, camera. There we go. Okay, so that one's obviously wrong. Okay, so one of the eyes mostly lines up, but the other one doesn't. So to me that means that the rotation of this guy isn't right. Like the camera needs to be aiming more that way. That's a much closer lineup. So I need to ignore the neck in positions like this because his head is tilted down. So it's a weird like bump thing he's got going on here. So I think that means that the bump in the middle of his brow kind of hollows out once it gets to the outside. Yeah, I think that's the case. I need to hollow out that bit. We'll see what the other ref does to support that, but let's just quickly... This one's obviously way wrong. Although it's still helpful for the ear. I know that this bit needs to pull out and that bit needs to push in. Or at least go forward. I'm leaning towards forward. Because that makes more sense anatomy-wise. Yeah, this one's still well off. I can't tell how much that is asymmetry though. Nose is in the wrong place too. If I try to line up the nose... It gets a lot closer. Yeah, that gets a lot closer. Both eyes are too wide, aren't they? Okay, this camera needs to tilt slightly. that as incandescence? Oh, that's just glow. Right, there's a way to sort out that, isn't there? Shading. I think it's in viewport 2.0. There we go, that's better. Doesn't look as bad now. Yeah, this... His nostrils are so much smaller than us. I guess it's because of its age. My cheekbone's completely hollowed out. I'm wondering if it needs to go sharper or if that's just a thing because of his age. Either way, let's... Okay, so this one, I think is partially a case of having to move the camera line up a little bit. I keep moving the wrong one. Well, this bit needs to come forward. Quite a lot, actually. And the eye needs to be more heavily, like, top dominant. And again, that round corner of the ear, that's been a consistent thing. Okay, that shape back there needs to change as well. Eye spacing is getting close now. The top lids are too tall. And are the eyes not wide enough? Corners of the mouth need to go down. His nose needs to move off to the side as well. I can't tell if that's partially this. Feels closer. Okay, so yeah, I think the... Yeah. Mouth corners need to go down. I can tell that much. So let's round out the ear as well, and then does this one have the same... Oh, this one's way off, okay. But how much of that is age-based? This one looks like he's looking too far up as well. Keep doing that. Yeah, top lids go down. Is the nose too long? See, this is where it gets really difficult. This kind of discovery process can take so long sometimes. Either way, let's save that. Get back into ZBrush. So, mouth corners needs to go down, because he definitely looks a lot grumpier. And then, with those going down, this weight now feels a little bit absent. Okay. So then this needs to be a little bit sharper, so let's sharpen that up a little bit. I'm still going to round it out more than that, but let's just flatten that area out. Okay. Top lids needs to go down, and this bit back here needed pretty consistently to go back. Which part needs to go back though? Let's go to Maya. So it's like that bit there. This bit right here. Okay, and then this inner corner here needs to just go in. For like most of the references that I need to go in a little bit. Okay, then top lid. Very subtly needs to go. Like that. See, something I always like to make sure I get to some extent is wherever the cornea is looking, I try to push out the eyelid just a little bit and have it go up slightly. Because the cornea is obviously like, you know, a little bit of extra volume. And for me, eyes always feel a little bit more lifelike if the eyelid looks like it's responding to that. So I always try to get that in there just a little bit. Keep it subtle, but have it there. It's not necessarily something that is accurate, but it is something that, to me at least, makes it more interesting. Okay, so I think that area needs to be hollowed out a little bit. We got that effect earlier, didn't we? Let's just quickly go to... This helps me see quite a lot. Looks a little bit weird. Oh shit. Then once we've got a certain amount of this done, I'm going to do a super quick pass on the hair. Oh, are you guys still getting enough like frames? I just got a little warning pop up saying that the not enough video to maintain smooth streaming. If you can let me know if that's working fine, that'd be great. Okay, are there any clear images of his caruncle? Imagine the clearest ones are of when he's old. That's a remarkably straight angle. Okay, and then nostril had another... Oh, this area needs to pull forward a little bit, didn't it? that line is a little bit steeper. This part right here. Okay, what about the tip of the nose? What was going on with that? Oh, this actually gives a really interesting look. Okay. So this line right here. There we go. That helps. So something I want to do as well is there's another ref, which actually I'm going to save out now. I'm going to copy paste this guy right there and crop him to just that, and then images, no, save, export, selected images. Okay, so I'm just going to call this head ref 10. Trying to remember what that was called. Okay, there we go. So it's 1010. We can do a lineup to that, because that's the most front-on image I have. And it'll give me some information that this other stuff hasn't given me so far. Okay, so if I want to get a bit of age on this, I can add a bit of thickness to the bottom. Because this is younger than what I have. So if I add a little bit of thickness to the bottom, in fact actually, let's use the standard brush. Just very gently, I mean very gently, add a little bit of a puffiness at the bottom of that line. Then hollow out slightly above it. This makes it feel a bit droopier. Helps with the feeling of age. I'm also going to remove the alpha from this brush, so I get a little bit more control over it. Okay, so I'm gonna save my scene. Okay, so let's get him exported, test him out, and then I'll get that ref in as well and we'll quickly line it up. Okay, so Maya, let's add a frame on the end. I don't know if this will load immediately. Oh, I did, nice. Okay, so I wonder what the focal length of this camera would have been. Because he's not looking that far up, is he? Maybe he is. If I use the nose as like a reference point, then that's as close as I can get. Mouth lines up, eyes do not, ears definitely do not. Oh, that's not far off. Ears are way off though. Or maybe a certain amount of it is rotation. Okay, for now, let's lock that in. And get into here. And let's just quickly go into references. Oh, that's not what I want. Reference editor. Reference, reload reference, give us a moment to do its thing. Starting to get a bit better. You are amazing, Mike. Thanks. I appreciate the enthusiasm. Okay, so with this one, I feel it's a very slight rotation that I haven't got. It needs to be slightly bigger though, in all directions. But yeah, there's definitely a rotation that I'm missing there. Let's try to get that a bit better. That's definitely a lot closer. Jaw and neck isn't right though. Brow's a lot closer, but the crease in between the brow isn't. Let's try to use the crease in between the brows and the eye as a reference point. That is much closer. Okay, so neck is still way off apparently. His ear comes down further than mine. His doesn't, but that's the younger version. And that's also still not out far enough. It's getting much closer. Nose needs to be skinnier even. Yeah, nose needs to be a lot skinnier. See, this one's so hard to trust because the nose is a little bit off and the mouth is very off. So for those to line up with the current proportions, I need to do a much more extreme angle, like something like that. Which isn't... It's so hard to tell. I mean, that's closer, but I don't know, how much of this is just him looking down more? That part of the cheek needs to be rounder. I can tell that much. Okay, so let's add some mass here. and decrease the height of the earlobes. Okay, so let's just get a little bit more mass right there. Okay, and earlobes go down a little bit. That bit needs to be even rounder. Let's get into Maya quickly. So this one's obviously really far off, so I can't trust it too much. The lineup's not right yet. And that neck volume is still way, way off. And it's way off in all of them as well, so I've obviously got something very wrong with neck volume. The nostrils go further back as well. Thing is, how much of that is a rotation? That eyelid creeping out on the other side. Yeah, I think no matter what I do, it's still way off. Although that upper lip. I think that is closer than it was. I think there's still a very slight change that needs to happen, so I'm just going to keyframe that and have another go. Okay, well no matter what I do, that bit needs to go up. It needs to be way bigger and the neck needs to be way bigger. Something is very off with that camera. That bottom part of the nose needs to go up in most of them though, right? Yeah, it does. Alright, I'll give it that. That part of the eye needs to come forward as well. Yeah, neck is still too small in all of them. Alright, so have faith, trust your reference. I need to learn that from FK Twigs. Okay, I'm gonna do something here. Let's mask out all this junk. Okay, I'm gonna do something potentially very dumb here. Let's just see if it works. I'm going to try to scale this. Scale. Let's use a transpose line. Drag it from the nose, although we do need it to be on the center line. Let's just try to scale from there. And I'm going to press Ctrl H to hide the mask. So that's going to make it bigger in every axis. That feels better. Let's just chisel back some of this stuff. I had to look at neck anatomy back here. I have no idea what's going on. Okay, so let's give that a go. Let's export that. I have a suspicion it's going to look really weird. But that's possibly just a case of me having to kind of man up and give it a chance. Because that looks really weird as well. So let's just go File, Reference Editor. There we go. And Reference, Reload Reference. Is this going to be too much? Or not enough? The top of the head. Although the neck looks like it might be lining up in more cases now. It's a little bit too big. It's still not big enough apparently. Top of the head definitely needs to come down though. I think he probably had quite a flat head by those things. Yeah, he needs to flatten out his head a little bit. But other than that, it looks pretty promising. So we're going to keep it and just make it look less weird. Okay, then let's fix the remnants. Empty. Okay, let's go into transparent mode. Let's get some mass back there. There we go. Feels like his forehead is a bit too small, like this area. Is it still masked? There we go. He's starting to feel a bit human, slowly. Okay, let's spend a little bit of time on ears. Sculpt him to feel a little bit more human. I can delete this now. So his ears aren't terribly clear in any of these photos, although I do have... Oh, I need to stop doing that. Oh, what have I done? Huh. That's cool. Alt 1, Alt 2, Alt 3. Alt 4 doesn't have a... Oh, that's nice. I like that. I like that a lot. Alright, cool. That's how I'm working from now on. Oh, that's really nice. Transparent background. Alt 3 to do that. Let's check out Maya. Move that off screen for a moment. So, this one was the most trustworthy one for the ear. So, earlobe down, this bit down as a whole. And then, I need to get a bit more depth on this bit right here. Yeah, let's focus on the ear for a little bit. And I'll find that same reference here. again, let's just double check Maya, because I've already forgotten the silhouette. Okay, it just needs to round out more at the bottom and then pull down a little bit. Good. Once we get that right, we will start to have other things kind of come together a bit more easily. Okay, and that needs to pull back. That needs to pull that way. Also, if you guys are into gaming, a quick recommendation: if you've got the Epic Games Store, currently Amnesia Afterlife is free. It's free until the 29th. That's not like you can play it until 29th. That's if you get it in your library before the 29th, it's yours for free. I've been playing it. It's really, really good. I used to really like the Amnesia games as a kid, so well, I say as a kid, as like a mid-teen, early teen. Really, really enjoyed them back then. Okay, so this is just wrong. Let's correct that. And this, so I can't tell if he's had his ears pierced, or if that's just a weird mark, but there we go. Okay, and then that line there is really unique. Got like that thing going. Okay, let's pull you all the way out to here. BMV. Let's get okay, do I need to pinch brush for this to work, or can I get away with damn standard? Granted, damn standard is just a glorified pinch brush, but you get my point. I think I can do that with pinch. Oh, sorry, damn standard. I need to stop dragging that. Okay. That needs to be hollowed out for it to work. For it to feel like skin, that needs to be hollow behind it. At least in the way that I like to approach skin. Which is not necessarily the correct way. I will make sure to emphasize that. Okay. Okay, this needs to be a lot tighter. So let's try the pinch brush. I don't think it will work, but let's just give it a go. A large enough pinch brush can still create quite natural forms. You just have to be incredibly gentle with how you use it. And like stuff like this can't stay. Like you need to get rid of these areas. I find with ears, they're often the bit of any sculpt that gives away the CG feeling, like all the time. I think ears just have one of those forms that are really, really hard to get right, like extremely hard to get right. Because there's so much subtlety to it, and there's so much roundness that most people don't get. I don't think I've ever got it right either. It's just, I don't think I've seen an ear that is like well sculpted. Other than Chris Costa's stuff, Chris Costa is one of the very few sculptors who I don't see him make bad forms. It's very frustrating. Okay, so there's a slight bump to this, so let's just... If you're not aware of Chris Costa's work, I heavily, heavily recommend it. And his Fly on the Wall studio, like his lessons, are really good. I bought them a while ago, and they are really top level stuff. I try really hard, like really, really hard, because obviously like with me watching his courses, I'm desperately trying to not accidentally give away his tricks. Because I want, like, you know, given that I stream my entire workflow, there's a part of me that doesn't feel comfortable watching people's tutorials and then like learning from it in like, what's the way I can word this? Like, I'm obviously not stealing people's techniques because I always mix it with my own, but there is a risk of like if someone's got a really cool technique and I end up taking parts of it, then that's kind of me giving away paid information. So I really tried to find a balance of like incorporating tutorial like sculpting tips into the way I sculpt without just kind of overriding the way that I already work, if that makes sense. Like Raphael Grassetti's likeness sculpting course I've had for years. I bought it on Gumroad like when I was in uni, which is incredible. The way he approaches ears is one of the ways that I try. But yeah, in babble mode apparently. But yeah, how are you guys doing anyway? Is everyone doing okay? Okay, I'm gonna have to be careful with that. See, he's starting to look a little bit like the role that Jared Leto did when he had to put on a ton of weight for a role. Can't remember the name of the film, but he has a little bit of that feeling to him. See, right now what I'm not trying to do is spend time detailing. I'm just trying to get a feel for the forms I'm actually sculpting. So I'm now getting towards the point where I start to cap out in terms of sculpting ability. Like, I can't get much past the point where I'm at now. This is where, at least for me, tools like XYZ, I'm debating buying some stuff from 3D Scan Store. Like for skin textures, because I haven't tried out James's like skin displacement yet. And this project I kind of want to do like all the form-based stuff before I get on with color textures. So I think what I might do is once I've retopologized, I'll get straight back into sculpting. Get all the forms right now, continue with a grey shade. and get displacement onto textures and that sort of stuff, and then move on to doing colors. I just want to try that as like a workflow. Currently my workflow has always been like, just get color on there as quick as possible. But something I've learned while at work is everything you do in shading is so dependent on geometry that I kind of don't want to push into, you know, getting my roughness right before I've got all my skin displacement there, like all the detail stuff. It's so important. Like, there's a character for I mean, the series is public. There's a character for the Halo TV series that I worked on very briefly, where I had to get the skin displacement right. And basically, I'm trying to figure out what I can say and what I can't say. So I worked on a brute, and it has relatively decent skin shading in the episode that I worked on, and basically I deleted color and everything from it for a really long time and just made the displacement look as good as I could, and then moved back into adding color, and I found that that process produced like a lot better results in much less time than it would usually take me to get skin looking good. So I kind of want to mimic that in my own work now, in my personal projects and stuff. There we go. So I need to get a body in there as well. Should I start blocking out a body now? Just to have something, because like I need just past the elbows and like maybe just past the belly button. So I might do what I did for the last character for Pero, is like kind of cap it at the hips and at the wrist. I'm gonna be doing him in T-pose, so yeah, let's get a body in there. I'm going to save this. Okay, so let's append a sphere. I'm determined to like always sculpt these by there we go. Determined to always sculpt these from spheres because my current anatomy sculpting skills are absolute garbage. I found this sculpt earlier, so this is again on 3D Scan Store. I'm going to duplicate that and just get a different layout. Let's go. So yeah, with this one, this guy's a bit more muscular, I think, than what my guy should be. But the weight isn't a million miles off what I want. So I'm gonna try to sculpt this. Come on. Okay, so let's just go to geometry, dynamesh this guy. Don't know what resolution that's going to give me. Too much is the answer. Let's go down to like 16. Even 16 is pretty high. Let's go down to 8. The scale of this thing. Okay, it keeps going back up to 16. Alright. So we're going to have to deal with having quite a lot of polygons. Of course I can zero mesh it, which I'll probably do once I've got past that initial stage. So I just need to get a vague blob in the shape that I want right now. Once I've got a vague blob, I can work from there. Okay, so let's get some extremely basic arms in there. Okay, so let's zero mesh at this stage. Okay, that'll do. Just get some extremely vague muscles on there. Okay, that's obviously way too much. Loving this like really swole version. BMT. There we go. Slowly but surely getting somewhere. Very slowly but surely. I'm aware I need to add a lot more weight to this. That's something we'll get. Beautiful. Need to get the back of the ear at some point as well. But actually, okay, there's a little bit of something back here. Need to find some images of old men. It's going to be a fun one. I always end up doing old men, actually. I can't think about it. Like in terms of sculpting bodies. It always ends up happening. I need to look up muscle anatomy for this area. The forearm is a nightmare as is, but I feel like I'm sculpting this muscle under here right now. I don't know what happens down here with muscles. Beautiful. I need to check where the body stores fat up here. I where are the fat pads in the body? The thing I know for sure though is that this obviously won't be as defined. Okay. Quickly hollow this out. Okay, so this curl is quite weird, so let's just... It's giving pizza nipples. Amazing. Gives a little bit of context. Okay. Oh, that needs fixing. we go. Let's get that spine line in there. I haven't quite learned what these correspond to yet, but come on, there we go. This is feeling a bit flat to me. What happens if I use a cloth brush? Jesus. I haven't really used the cloth brushes yet. Jeez. Okay. My Facebook is lit up at the moment. Damn, that's nice. Nicholas Morel sent me something about 40 minutes ago. Really, really nice sculpt. Let me just put this on the screen for a second. Oh, that's stunning. That's so good. That lump in the neck though. Color fill object. Okay, Okay, that didn't work apparently. Color, fill. Oh yeah. There we go. I forgot this is like semi-transparent, so of course nothing shows through. Okay, let's quickly work just a little bit on the hair to get the silhouette right. Okay, so first off, let's get that rocking. I need to really fill out the inside of the thing. It's a shame I don't have, at least I don't think I have a way to do that. Let's check, let's see if we got any C modelers. Wraps around the whole thing. Used to be a way to like get rid of the thickness of objects. And there is a kind of brute force way of doing it. Although with this shape I don't think I'll be able to. Okay, what I could do is turn off back face masking. We can ignore it for a while. We can always reproject later. Okay. Slow that back a bit more. That angle feels extremely weak. Let's get that bumped up a bit more. I also feel like that helps quite a lot. at least a little bit better than it was. Let's just quickly grab this guy, make that a little bit more. Get that hair inflated a wee bit. I don't know why I'm doing this right now, I just find it very cathartic. That beard looks so bad. So it's bumpy. Okay, let's get back to the eyes. A bit more sharpness in there. I'm gonna paint that in actually. Let's go about there. Cool. So let's update all the models. Oh, that's interesting. Cool. So let's get him exported. Okay, export. What time is it? Alright, cool. Head geo. It's 3.9 million polygons now. Maybe let's go down to subdivision level then re-export. Okay, then hair. Export. Hair proxy. Actually, let's quickly check. Export. I think the eyes have moved as well, haven't they? So let's export those as well. Okay, then we'll just rename this to body geo. Okay, then get that exported. Oh, wait, again, check settings. I really wish this was persistent. Okay. I feel like I need to get that top lid a bit closer. Okay, let's get back into Maya. Oh, the bottom of the nose. That's something I forgot to change, wasn't it? This bit needs to go up. I think there's a very slight bump that needs to happen like there. Beyond that, we were starting to get pretty close. Okay, let's go back down to subdivision level. I'm gonna save my scene. Okay, so let's go to Maya. Move that back over. File, reference editor, reference, reload reference. There we go. Getting closer. This reflection feels like it's off. Let's check some of the cameras. Oh, that's the wrong one. So I picked that color from this. So that back part of the nose needs to be a bit more pointy, and the top eyelid needs to come out a little bit. And this ear needs to be a bit more rounded. Nose is getting pretty close now though. Forehead needs to be pushed back a little bit by those things. Okay, so outer side of the ear needs to be inflated. I keep doing that now. I love that it's not remembering the colour like ever either. Is there a way to lock that? There we go. Let's, while we're at it, lock these attributes too. Okay, so yeah, upper eyelid needs to come forward, but let's focus on the ears for a little bit. So this bit needs to go backwards. So let's do this one note at a time, right? So this bit needs to go backwards by about that much, and back into Maya. This part of the ear needs to be thickened up a little bit and relaxed backwards there, pulled forward there. So let's pull this bit forward, that bit backwards, and then inflate the whole thing. Okay. Then this part here needs to be bumped backwards very slowly. Once that's pulled back and that's pulled back, we're really not far off. So bump that bit backwards and bump that bit backwards. Okay. Okay, what else? The top eyelid, right? This is going to be the most painful one to do. So I think it's the top eyelid being in the wrong place. It means that the eye itself needs to move, which is always a pain. Where does the eye currently sit in the skull, actually? Yeah, it might be because the eye is not far up enough. Okay, let's check the ear first. Oh, what was it about the brow that was off? Oh, it's the top of the head, right? Yeah, so this part of the brow needs to bump out just a tiny, tiny bit. And the top of the head needs to flatten back a tiny, tiny bit. So let's just do that. bump this forward the tiniest bit. And this bit up here needs to just flatten back tiniest bit. Okay, I'm going to alt-save this because I'm feeling like I'm going to regret some of these moves tomorrow. Okay, so let's get this exported. Then we'll try to get the eye. Okay, so let's go File, Reference Editor. Getting closer. Yes, the eye itself needs to come forward a tiny bit. And this part of the nose needs to go back a tiny bit. So let's go with that, because that's a very easy note. Okay. Then this bit still had to come forward a tiny bit. And then that allows the eyes to come forward quite a lot. So let's try to get those right. So out and up. Like that. Okay. So then we can just line these guys up. Did the bottom eyelid need to go back a little bit? I think it did, right? I don't know if that'll be enough. So wrong now though. Alright, because it's been bumped up a tiny bit. Okay. Let's go back into Maya, just have a quick look. I know I haven't updated it. I just need to sanity check myself here. That's quite a big difference, isn't it? It also needs to go lower. Okay, Hail Mary it. I don't think that's right, but I can always go back. So let's just export that. I'm not worried about the eyes yet. In fact, no, may as well. Export. Okay. File. Reference editor. In fact, got it open here. No, I don't apparently. Do I just keep closing it like over and over again? File. Reference editor. Reference. Reload reference. Did that update? I'm not entirely convinced that updated. Export. Head geo. Okay. Let's try that again. File. Reference editor. Just right there. Reference. Reload reference. Apparently it did. I just wasn't looking at the time. Oh yeah, because the nose has moved back. So I still haven't gone far enough for the eye. Okay, how far off is this getting from the other angles? It's not, okay. This is an exact duplicate of the issue I was having with FK Twigs, where I just didn't believe my reference. And it keeps coming back to bite me like over and over again. I basically just don't trust it. Like, I look at it, it's like, no, that it can't be right, the reference is wrong, and then I resist it for ages, and then I do it, and like, the reference was right, who knew? The photos I was trying to match had the correct forms for the photos I was trying to match. Always happens, it's really annoying. Okay, there's a slight... This is a lot straighter than the nose I have. Which I think might be the case there too. Yeah, it is. Okay, so let's straighten out the bottom of that nose a tiny, tiny bit. Which I believe means pull that bit down, that bit up. Okay, and then pull that even further forward. Let's just quickly... Pain. Yep. Absolutely. Okay, so as I pull this out, I am going to need to watch the sides. Okay, let's get that exported. Okay, and then God, it's moving so subtly. But I keep thinking I'm making these massive changes and it barely moves. Oh, I hate this. This is why I admire modelers in the VFX industry, because it's just like how... I know it's just a bad habit on my part, but I find it so hard to trust the reference fully. It's just such a fight, you know? I did also notice that this bit needs to be pushed back, and this still needs to be inflated more. So let's just do that while we're at it. And there was something here as well, this bit needs to bump out. He's feeling less human than he did before. That feels more human. Okay. Part of it is the new expression. It's time to delete the reference image. So the reference is wrong. I will never be wrong in my sculpture. Because that is completely how sculpture works. It's just so frustrating. He sounds like a little bit lazy-eyed. Okay, let me just quickly jump back. Because the eye shape from the front before felt more successful. Why am I finding this so difficult? Alright. That has to go like half a centimeter forward at least, right? Like just the eyelid though, interestingly. Oh, that bit also needs to bump down. Okay, so we'll do that, and then we'll just throw the eye out. I'm not going to worry about getting the forms right quite yet. I'm just going to worry purely about getting the distance right, and then we can figure out the forms, because otherwise I'm just going to kind of like pussyfoot my way over, and I don't want to do that. Nuke the problem, yeah. I don't really like that look for some reason. Right, okay, so how much was the difference? Compared to the width of the eye? Compared to the... Oh, God. It's the bottom lid as well. It's the inside edge of the bottom lid. Is that because everything's moved forward? Or it moved inwards? Is that the issue? Okay, we'll get the eyelid right first, then we'll worry about positioning the eye. Because now it's getting very narrow from that front view for positioning the eye. In fact, technically, what I needed to do there wasn't that at all. It was this. Did I just do the Battlefield theme? Let's just pull this whole thing forward. Okay, let's not worry about the eye position yet. Export. Let's just worry about the eyelid position. We'll get everything else on there later. Reference. Reload reference. Close enough. So, okay, we can get the eye position right now. We show more of the eyelid than we had before. Or then we had to show the same amount of eyelid as what we had before, actually. And that arches backwards more. Okay, but eyelid is almost right now. So we can kind of baby step our way over from this point. I do find that quite funny. Okay, so from the side view, this comes backwards more, which I'm guessing means that this area here was more hollow than what I've got. That doesn't match the kind of fat like profile I've got for him. So maybe it means that it's more like that. Did that end up exactly where it was before? It did. Okay, I'll figure that out later. It's like he's looking at you desperately. He knows we're going to have problems around the eyes. Oh, absolutely. The eyes are not going to happen. Definitely not in this stream. It's going to take a really long time to get them right. Something like that. And then we're going to have to basically just tweak the eyelid depth. Okay, so now let's get God, the fucking pain in his eyes right now. That helps a lot. Okay, so okay, let's see if that works. My guess is no. Just realised that button's right there. I'm staring at the eye so hard right now. There we go. Almost. That bit needs to be flattened out, pulled down. We're getting closer. I'll probably call the stream off pretty soon. Get everything over into Katana. Let's just quickly tweak the eyes to look a little bit less dead. Because his eyes shouldn't look that dead. They just look so sad. Fair. I probably need to check the front view. Let's just export this. Okay, so let's check that overview. Okay, so that one disagrees. His eyes need to go a little bit further back for this one. But then his ears are way off and his neck's way off, so it's not entirely trustworthy. Okay, so that inside corner needs to pull over this way a little bit more. In fact, both the eyes need to move in just a tiny, tiny bit. And what's the difference in terms of shape of the eye? Just that inside corner going up, right? It kind of makes all the difference. Okay, so let's get that done. I really wish it would stop jumping around. I need to be able to move it smoothly. Very subtle. Probably a bit too subtle. Let's try again. Spacing feels off now. Let's give it a go anyway. Nothing wrong with undoing if we have to. Could be a case of where, again, like the position forward of the eye where it's just wrong. Okay. So get into File, Reference Editor. It's amazing how subtle this stuff is. That's closer. Confirm that. That needs to move this way a little bit. What about the other views? It's getting a lot closer. Okay, well the angle of this needs to go back a little bit. So let's sort that out. And then that'll be our last change for today, I think. All references hurt differently. Yes, they do. I need to straighten out that line. That's the problem I've got right now, is I need to do like an aggregate of all these, because none of them are the same. Like this one, his nose looks way bigger. And his ears are kind of a different shape too. Although that I can probably do. That just needs straightening out from the front view. So let's do that. Then I'll work on the eye bag. So eye bag. Let's just grab this. Okay. And then we're just going to flatten that out a bit, which involves doing this effectively. And we're going to try to smooth that out a little bit too. That needs hollowing completely. Just quickly check that front profile. I think we can get away with lifting this corner a tiny bit more. Although in that left eye, this one is already off. His eyes need to go slightly further apart as well. Except from this one, where they need to go slightly closer together. Like, what? Okay, I think this part of the head needs to be pushed in. For some of these lines to make sense, this needs to be pushed in. Okay, and then we're going to I'm going to spend a moment just making it feel a little bit more alive, not necessarily caring about the reference yet, because something is off, and it's one of those kind of, I'm not going to notice it at the resolution those references are. So let's just try to make it feel organic, and then we'll worry about whether or not it's close to ref. Okay. That's what it is. It's the uneven depth of the eyelid that's throwing me off. As in, like, this part. If this gets pulled forward, that will help quite a lot. Just in case now finding the right height for it. Something like that works a lot better for my eyes. Okay, then let's check transparency. Yeah, so that eyelid depth is changing quite a lot. So I'm going to need to do a pass, possibly after retopology, because that'll make that stuff a lot easier to solve. But I'm going to have to do a pass where I even out the thickness of the eyelid, because that'd be one of those kind of untouchable things. God, that angle's bad though. Partially solved, but not really. Okay. Where was this at the start today? So this is going to be one of those where the earlier one from today feels more like a real human. I can just see it coming. Yeah, the earlier one felt more real. That eye bag is a lot better in the earlier version. Like, a lot better. This feels like it's been captured with like the wrong focal length, basically. Let's try to get an element of this. The main thing is this area here is missing from the new one. Okay, that bottom lid. Well, that's starting to feel a bit better. The eye spacing. Something's really throwing me about that eye spacing. Honestly, even that helps. I'm gonna have to do a ref hunt, I think. His eyes just feel far too close together. Like, even subtly moving them out like that helps just a little bit, you know? Let me just quickly do something. We're gonna save this. Let's go into surface noise. Jesus. Hello. That happened very quickly. It's going to get a little bit of something happening. What the hell is going on here? Definitely time to finish the stream because the older one looks better, which is normally a sign that you've burnt out your energy for the day. So I'll do some changes to this one because it's something that works better in the old one, rather than technically the new one, which is this area here. Okay, round that out just a tiny bit. Okay, and then that bottom lid, let's just try to get something that feels a little bit more. Okay, that's what we're going to call it for the day. Eyes feel like backward progress, honestly. That's just so weird feeling. But we have scenes to go back on if we need to. Just like angles other than like inside looks weird, honestly. It's really bothering me. Really, really bothering me. I need to get this right. Okay, so save my scene. Export. I just need to export to match. Well, I did the 3.2 mil or 3.9 mil. I need to go back on that. Okay. Export. Then I think I got the hair geo, but let's just re-export anyway, just in case. And then I know I haven't updated the body geo since I first exported it, so that's all good. The body looks so funky. So we can get that closed now. Cool. Reload that. The old one was much better. Oh, thanks. So funny just how far off this is, despite not actually being that far off. Getting a lot closer overall, though. Definitely better than it was at the start of this stream. And that's what matters. Overall forward progress, even if it feels like it's backwards at times. This reference is not rotated enough. It's weird because, like, there's some angles like this one where it's getting so much closer. That cheekbone needs to go up and back a bit. The brow is almost in the right place. This needs to move up a tiny amount. That one shows the eyes being too far forward. I think that one shows the eye being too far forward as well. All but this. Oh, actually, this one shows the sides being too far forward. You know what I've done? I've lined the eyelid up to the eyelashes. Alright, no, I need to fix that. I am morally opposed to leaving that though. Oh, right. We can do this. Open file. CG stuff. Projects. Personal projects. John Singer Sargent. Modeling. ZBrush. Blockout. Right, so. The entire eye needs to move backwards a tiny, tiny amount. Okay. Entire needs to move backwards a tiny, tiny amount. Let's just... Jesus. Okay, maybe not that much. About that much, and then this bit needs to move back even more, which then by a result makes it have to pull out more. And then the eye needs to move backwards just as much as the other stuff did. What was the other thing? There's something else that was like stood out as wrong. Something to do with the ears, right? Oh, actually, the other thing was this area is not flat enough. Oh, and the cheekbone was way too low, right? Okay, so cheekbone had to go which direction? Inwards and up. In fact, the entire kind of eye socket has to a tiny bit. Okay, so this needs to go in and up. Then this bit kind of came out a tiny bit. What was it about the ears? There's something about the ears, right? It wasn't that reference. Eh. Nothing worth fixing right away. That bottom lid is going to be a nightmare to figure out. Okay, let's get that exported. I think what we'll do in the next stream is get some actual eyes modelled in. Like we'll get the eyes from Pero, although we'll be changing them up, but we'll get them from it. So we've got some correct eyes to scale. Okay, let's go back into Maya. Okay, and then just reload. Corners matching up a lot closer now. That bit needs to bulk out a bit. That's closer than it was. Okay, I feel happier with that than I did with the other thing. So yeah, I'm gonna get Katana open. Yeah, it's getting closer. Still not right. It's getting a lot closer. I feel like that bit needs to be bulked out a little bit. His eyes are going to be an absolute nightmare, aren't they? What's this one saying, actually? Yeah, this one's getting pretty close. It's not a million miles away. I feel like Groom and Texture would carry that quite a lot at this point. Okay. Let's quickly... There we go. We need to add the body geometry. Where the hell is body geo? Oh, I haven't created a limbic of it yet. Oh, I need to recreate the limbics of all these. Right, okay, so... Cache, alembic, export selection to alembic. Need to get all the other stuff in as well. File, import, modeling, ZBrush, exports. Let's get eyes in here. Okay. God, that looks so weird. Then let's get that cached out. Alembic, export slice to alembic. I'm gonna get okay. And let's get the eyes in here. Oh, the hair, sorry. Okay. Let's get this, and then cache, alembic export, export selection to alembic, hair proxy. And then last one is to get the body in. Then let's go cache, alembic, export sets into alembic. Then body underscore geo. Cool. So we can kill that. Save our scene. And let's go add alembic. Now I can bring in the body. Good. Now let's do this test render. Okay. Why? Wait, is that rendering with 3D light? Why? Okay, well, I'll figure that out off stream. In the meantime, save the scene. Yeah, I'll get this rendering off stream. Rendering in 3D light is interesting. But yeah, anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed. Hopefully we'll get the eyes right in the next stream. Maybe that's will be the focus, is we'll get an eye model in so that we have correct scale, and then we can try going from there. But anyway, I hope you guys had a good day, and I'll see you in the next stream. I think the next stream will be Thursday. I'm going to try to get into the old habit of Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, with occasional Sundays thrown in there. Get some of the consistency back from like the days I first started. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. But anyway, enjoy the rest of your day, guys, and have a good night. Bye, guys.